So I am making this video to discuss with you about what pure sine wave is and modified sine wave with regards to power tool adapters, because I've seen a dozen different review videos, a dozen different products, and the mainstay issue that I find with these review videos is that everybody's talking about why you would want pure sine wave, and they gloss over a majority of the stuff that you should be talking about. Now, to that point, I understand why these folks run battery tools, all right? What's it matter? It's a battery. You plug it in, you go, right? Doesn't matter. Well, it's not all the same when you get into inverters. First things first, it's a lot easier to take your household outlet and convert it down to DC power than it is to take battery power at a significantly lower amount of voltage, boost it up, and also change its dynamic. Because remember, your household power is in something called AC, or alternating current. Your battery technology is all in DC. AC is great for transmission because you have it as lossless. If you punch it up enough in the voltage, you can transmit it everywhere. DC, on the other hand, is great for storage because that's how batteries work. The problem is when you're trying to go from DC to AC is that you have to do a bunch of different things to it. And for the longest of time, the easiest way that they could convert these sorts of things was to use something called modified sine wave. Modified sine wave versus pure sine wave basically looks a lot sharper and more aggressive. A pure sine wave would be that. Modified sine wave would be more up, down, up, down. And while it still mimics AC, it's probably not the best. And the big thing that I keep hearing on these review videos is, well, pure sine wave is for sensitive electronics, like your laptop, your phone, your computer, and all this kind of other stuff, which doesn't make any sense. Like 90% of those items are under 200 watts. So realistically, like I bought the Milwaukee top off. I also have the Ryobi, whatever the fuck they're calling themselves these days. And don't get me wrong, you can use this all you want on those particular items. Ideally, though, it would have been nice if they had pure sine wave. Now, what does this mean for you if you're looking for backup power? Well, let me tell you something. Modified sine wave is not as efficient as pure sine wave when it comes to plugging in something that was meant to run off of pure sine wave in the first place. And a lot of these tool review videos, they fucking miss the point entirely of talking about that. So, when you look to bigger converters like the Milwaukee and the Ego, there's a reason why they won't pure sine wave, because that is the most adaptable way that you can have that power set up for such larger applications. It's not just for sensitive electronics, it's also for stuff like fans and compressors. They're just going to run better. So, without further ado, let me do a demonstration so you guys know exactly what you're getting into, alright? I'm going to get a fan. I've run it off the Milwaukee top off before, and I've also run it off my AC outlets. I'm going to plug it into my AC outlet first. You tell me how this sounds, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug it into the Milwaukee top off and give you a run of that, and I will show you the difference. Let's see here, we're going to go lowest. Let me just see if I can visualize this for you. Turn that off. Now let's plug it into the Milwaukee top off. Okay, that's the plug, that's the converter. I'm going to turn it on. Alright, here's a little hum going. Now let's turn this on to the lowest setting. And I'm going to put this over here. So, what'd you think? That's the difference between pure sine wave and modified sine wave. When you try to run things like fans and compressors, yes, they're going to run, but they're not going to run the best. They're also going to run slower. I mean, you could see that there. You know, you're having a lot more push out with the normal household AC as opposed to the pure or the modified sine wave, and that's not good. So, if you're looking to try to get yourself into backup power systems based off of this sort of stuff, or you're trying to use it for actual things that need pure sine wave, you should. And it's a travesty, in my opinion, that Milwaukee did not go like anywhere close to that. I mean, I understand it's a top off and it's just this, right? For a laptop charger, you're probably okay with. Cell phone charger, I mean, they've got the USB outlets in there. It's already DC anyways. All I have to do is convert it down. But as far as larger applications go, then you have to, buy the $41,000 unit, or do I buy the Ego at 2100 with all the batteries? Anyways, just lamentations of a man who wishes he had more tools that did the right thing. And I mean, DeWalt came out with that clever thing where it had the 4 battery bays in it, but then they made it modified sine wave. And I mean, yes, it's going to work, but it's not going to work the best. So yeah, there you go. And if you want more information on what pure and modified sine wave is, there's tons of people that gave review, like talks about it already. I just figured I'd demo it for you. Hope this helps.